What do you want? Why are you so fussy? Why are your leaves turning brown? What's wrong with you? Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you're discovering this, my name is Christian, also known as the Crazy Plant Guy. I mostly do plant videos on this channel. If you have not subscribed yet, be sure to hit that button. You can also follow me on Instagram, Crazy Plant Guy. That's where I am pretty much every day doing my Insta stories and daily posts. In this video, I want to share with you guys my care tips on how to care for Calathea specifically. I have 4 of them that I want to show you guys. They are part of the Myfolia family, so they are better known as the prayer plants, red prayer plant or the lemon lime prayer plant. Also, the Calathea and Humidifier are also part of that family. And the one thing cool about these plants is they are known for their folding characters. So at nighttime, their leaves will fold up, and during the daytime, their leaves will fold down. So pretty cool plants to have, not only because of that, they're very beautiful. But in this case, I want to show you guys the 4 Calatheas that I do have. I have the Myfolia, Ornata, Latifolia, and the Zebrina one. So I recently got these guys, and if you have ever owned a Calathea, you know how fussy they are. But you know, generally speaking, they are pretty easy to care for once you kind of get a hang on what they need, or once you figure out what they do need. They can be tricky sometimes. If you are a beginner, I would suggest to not get a Calathea until maybe you've done your research and learned a little bit more about, you know, the type of plants that need certain humidity level and whatnot. But when it comes to whether it's the Marantas, the Calathea, Humidifier, or all the Calatheas here, they do share common general care tips, like when it comes to lighting. They do prefer medium, sometimes even low light. Right now, I have a south-facing window, a fairly large-facing window, and I actually keep my Calatheas Marantas about 10 to 12 feet back. That's because you know, they do not like to be in bright indirect light, so they prefer medium, sometimes even low light. And right now I have them back here, which is about, I would say, 12 feet away from the sun, and I think they are typically good there for all summer long, as well as during the winter. The Maranta's been there for about maybe a year now, and he's thriving really well. So when it comes to watering these guys, they do prefer to be more on the moist side. So I typically will water them when they are about 90% dry. I never let them dry out. If you do that, you know, the leaves will turn brown and yellow, so avoid making sure that they do get dried out. At the same time, you do not want them wet or sitting in water, so you need to kind of figure out what the right balance is on when to water these guys. But my rule of thumb is I check my Marantas and Calatheas every other day. I feel their soil. I stick my finger in about an inch down, just to kind of get a sense on if they do need to be watered again. And of course, when it comes to watering any plants, you want to make sure that you do water them well. Allow the water to go through the drainage hole, and before you put them back in their decorative pot, or any location you have them in. When it comes to the soil that I typically will use, if I was to repot some of these guys, is my rule of thumb is I do about 55 to 60% premium potting mix, and then I'll throw in about 40% cacti soil, and then the rest perlite, just to add a bit of drainage. You know, having more of the premium potting mix will keep a bit of the moisture in the soil, but not allow it to, again, you know, have the plant sitting in water or in wet soil where it will cause root rot. Now, the other thing about when it comes to watering, and for those of you guys who again have experience with Calatheas, I would recommend using filtered or distilled water, and that's because sometimes the chemicals in tap water causes the leaves to brown, or the edges of your leaves to brown. And again, we're gonna get to some more of the care tips on why the leaves turn brown, and give you guys a bit of tips on what I do to avoid the leaves from browning. But one thing is obviously to avoid that is use filtered water, distilled water. If you don't have a filter, or you don't want to spend money on distilled water, you know, let water sit for 24 hours before using them. That will typically remove all the chemicals in the tap water. I've done that a few times. I actually do that for my what's this guy called? Ooh, I'm looking at him right now. Hold on. This guy, the Myfolia. There you are. So I will use the filtered or water for the Myfolia, and that's, you know, ever since I started doing that, he's stopped having brown leaves or brown holes on his leaves, like see back here. So that's what typically will happen sometimes with the tap water because of the chemicals they do have. But we're not talking about the Myfolia here. We're talking about Calatheas. Hold on. Calathea. So this is my Orbifolia, which is one of my favorite Calatheas, and I like this because of their foliage and this candy cane stripe look. And these guys can grow really massive. I've seen a couple of beautiful ones on Instagram, and yeah, I mean, I love it. And the only thing with this is they are fussy, and again, they are prone to getting brown edges. This one, also the Lancifolia, and the Ornata that you guys see right here, as well as the Zebrina. Zebrina, I actually don't have issues yet with browning of the leaves. Maybe the reason why is because I do have a humidifier now. So the reason why these plants typically get brown edges is they prefer to be in a humid condition or have high humidity. And if you live in a location like where I am that typically doesn't get a lot of humidity, especially indoors, is you kind of have to create your own humid environment. So a couple ways to do that with your plants are, you know, I used to do this, and I still do it to this day. I would actually mist my plants once a week, twice a week. So if you don't have a humidifier or you don't have a humid environment, make sure you mist your plants once or twice a week. Very easy to do, and that typically will help. Again, make sure your water is filtered or distilled. That typically will help. If you don't have a mister or one of those spray bottles, what you can do is actually put the tray and pebbles trick. So here what you're going to do is get a tray, put some rocks or pebbles, pour water in it, and then put your plant on top of it, and that will typically create humidity with the water evaporating into the air, creating moisture around your plant, and making sure that your plants receive that moisture and humidity where they avoid, they don't turn brown like this. Another trick as well, I guess the simpler thing to do is get a humidifier. So I recently just got one here. I got this one on Amazon, and I'm going to provide a link below if you guys want to get an idea on the humidifier I use. But this one is a cool misting one, so I have to make sure that the water I use are filtered, and yeah, it does the job. I turn it on, you know, for a good hour, 2 hours, twice a week. What I also do is I actually group the plants together, and then I turn on the humidifier, making sure that they are all evenly getting the humidity that they need. Another way to also create humidity for your plants is group your plants together. Typically, plants that require humidity will create their own humidity when they are grouped together. So that's why I have all my Calatheas in the same location, because it does help. With that said, guys, these are really tricky, you know. I've been using humidifier in this guy for a while, and even his new leaves, I know it's starting to have brown edges, so I'm still trying to figure him out. And I think that's one thing when it comes to plants is you do need to kind of work with them and monitor them to make sure that you know, they are getting what they need. Another thing too is maybe get a moisture meter or humidity meter. That way you can actually get a good idea on the level of humidity you have in your home, and then increase the humidity with a humidifier if you need to or not. But that is pretty much it, guys. Nothing more to it other than, you know, again, make sure that they only get medium light, low light at least, and no bright light. Keep the soil moist, evenly moist, not wet, and mist your plants or create humidity for your plants, because they do need that type of environment to avoid a lot of these brown edging. But yeah, other than that, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to comment below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your weekend, and if you are not following me on Instagram, be sure to follow me there, because that's where pretty much I live my life. Other than that, hopefully you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.